Thank
බොහොම
you.
ස්තුතියි.
And to those of you from West Africa, merci beaucoup.
බටහිර අප්‍රිකාවෙන් එකතු වෙච්ච හැම දෙනාට බොහොම
Shukran.
ස්තුතියි.
To so many of you from the Middle East, shukran.
මැද පෙරදිගින් ඉන්නවා බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
Awesome. It's amazing that we can stand here like this and see the world.
අපිට මෙහෙම
For us, this is
මුළු
actually
ලෝකෙම දකින්න පුළුවන් එක හරිම
coming
අගනයි.
alive. 22 years ago, we had visions of
ජීවමාන
Vicon
වෙලා
that we
තියෙන අවුරුදු
never
22කට කලින්
imagined
අපිට
today.
තිබුණා වීකෝස් ගැන තිබුණා.
Today
නමුත් අද දවස ගැන හිතා
is
ගන්නවත්
truly
බැහැ එදා. අද
in
දවසේ
so many ways a gift.
ඇත්තටම හැම පැත්තෙම
It is so special
gift එකක්.
that we can share our
ගොඩක්
hearts and
විශේෂයි, සුවිශේෂයි.
minds across the world like this.
අපිට පුළුවන් වෙලා තියෙනවා අපේ
We are
මුළු
certainly
ලෝකෙ
on
පුරා
our
අපේ
way
හදවත
to touch
share කරගන්න.
that 1 billion
අපි
hearts.
1
More so
billion hearts
today
touch
than
කරන්න යන
any
ගමන්
time
ඉන්නේ.
before.
මේට
The
කලින්
amazing
වගේම
thing is, it took us 22 years to get here.
විශේෂම කාරණාව තමයි අපිට අවුරුදු
But I do believe
22ක් ගියාම එතනට එන්න.
That
ඔබ විශ්වාස
we are
කරන්න.
probably almost, I would say, very close to that mark of hitting 1 billion
අපි
hearts.
අපේ
Far more than we have ever been.
බිලියන් මාක්ස් වලට ගොඩාක් ලං වෙලා
Yesterday,
තියෙනවා අද දවසේ වෙනකොට. විශ්වාස කරන්න මාව.
We talked
ඊයේ
about
දවසේ
service a
අපි
little
කතා
bit.
කරා සේවය ගැන, සර්විස් එක ගැන.
Service is so powerful. Service is and must be your theme. It must be your motto. In whatever way that you're going to build this business, use the concept of service. And it is in line with that I would like to talk to you, because there are 3 things that carry the concept of Ubuntu. I am because we are. I am because all of you are. This entire journey, first of all, I'd like to put my hands together and thank every one of you that has made this journey truly possible. I'm indebted to all of you. You have made this entire journey possible. You have made this company possible. You have made me possible. So, from the bottom of my heart, from my heart to yours, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me say this. All of you have the potential to be leaders. The reason that you are in that room where you are right now, or you are in that space, be it a bus stop or a taxi stand, holding your mobile phone, or walking in a park somewhere, immaterial where you are there because you are meant to be there. Even today, us talking to each other is not an accident. It is again the beginning of a whole new path for you, and for us, the continuation of our path. Hence, we both have a purpose in meeting like this. In you lies the potential for leadership. And unlike what you might think, because it's so easy to see the world and look at the leaders of the world who have used power to get there. Let me tell you, power is an addiction. It is like taking any kind of a drug. Power corrupts you. Power, when it is absolute, then corrupts you absolutely. So, the best way to wield power is like us having to deal with electricity. You must always insulate yourself. When you touch electricity in its raw form, you die. You get a shock. It paralyzes you, and it can totally decimate you. It can kill. But you need electricity. You need to be able to manage it. You need to be able to use it. It is a utility. Hence, power or money is a utility. So how do we handle this without getting burned? And that is the true secret to success. See, being successful right away is probably the worst curse in your life. I have seen so many people come into this business, come into this industry, and become instantly successful. And that is, in fact, not a blessing. Because they don't know how they got there. They did not pay a price to get there. It basically landed on them. And they actually believed then, at that point, that they were lucky. The reality is, they were not. Because when it lands into your lap, success, in the form of money or power, and you are unable to control it, then it controls you. And you become its slave. So the way to insulate yourself is one, service. When you think of the fact that you are serving someone, not that they are serving you, but you are serving them, then you will always take the higher path. Next is love. And love is a very, very powerful thing. But not the kind of love that you're thinking about. Love means, first of all, loving what you do. When you love what you do, you never have to work a single day in your life. When you love what you do, you wake up every morning with gratitude. When you love what you do, everything around you, you do with joy. And when you love what you do not know the meaning of the word work. The trouble is, when you think that you are going to work every day, when you're going to work every day, that becomes a prison sentence. And every day becomes agony. But the instant it becomes love, you love what you do, you love who you are, you love the people around you, then the whole thing transforms into joy. That is the love that you need to have. Something that's always misunderstood is, I love my people, I serve them, I do everything for them, but how come they don't love me back? This is one of the questions I get asked every other week on. They don't love me back. And I feel disappointed. So let me take a few minutes to talk about this. Loving you back is not an option. It's not necessary. It's a redundant exercise. You see, when you love something, and I can show you one after another of people going out there to do things that they love, like climbing a mountain or surfing. Now, climbing a mountain is dangerous. Surfing, to me, is madness. There are a lot of people out there who love it, and more power to them, because this is not a comment about the surfers and the surf riders of the world, because my brother Japa happens to be one of them. So I am not making a comment about surfing. But riding a 10-foot wave is not a joking matter. Riding a 10-foot wave means that if you make a mistake, the wave basically picks you up and crushes you. It breaks you against the rocks. Yet, every time there's a 10-foot wave, you see people going out there to risk their lives in different parts of the world. In Hawaii, in Peru, in Australia, even here in Malaysia. They go out when the weather is so wild, it's not funny. But that is what drives them. That's what they love to do. So the question is, yes, they love to serve, which means they love the sea. Loving the sea is a wonderful thing, but to expect the sea to love you back, that is stupid. Loving the sea is a wonderful thing. Loving the mountain that you climb is a wonderful thing. But expecting the mountain to love you back is never going to happen. The mountain is a mountain. It is not going to love you back. But you can risk your life to climb it. What do you actually love? You love what you do. And you are not waiting in expectation for the mountain to love you back or for the sea to love you back. Are you with me? Are you with me? So then why are you sitting here waiting for your downlines to love you back? For the people that you serve to love you back? You do not serve them in expectation of them loving you back. You serve them because you love what you do. Wonderful. So that is the beauty of what we do. Love what you do and your life changes. Love who you are and who you want to become. Your life changes. And when you see the mountain or the sea or your downlines, love the potential in them. The more challenging they are, the more hostile they are, the more difficult they are, the greater your victory. And your ultimate victory is only within. Your ultimate victory is over yourself and no one else. So when leaders come to me and say, why don't my downlines love me? Then they have totally misunderstood the concept. It's just like saying, why does the ocean not love me? Are you with me? So in the concept of love and service, I want to keep to a topic right now that is very close to my heart. And that is serve, love, give. Now give embodies an aspect of life that is so powerful. You cannot receive until you give. Giving is the power. It is a superpower. Ultimately, when we began this company, the first thing that all of us agreed at that point is that we would allot a certain percentage of the company's profits to giving back to society, to giving back to Mother Nature, to giving back to this world and to everyone in it, in some form or another. And that to us was serving, was love, and was giving. A combination of all two, of all three. Ubuntu is all about that. Ubuntu is so powerful. I love this word from Mother Africa. It is such a word that it is so difficult to be able to understand it the first time you hear it. It's a word that you live your lifetime through. It's a word that has to have a new meaning every single day. And for those of you from Africa, you are blessed. For Ubuntu from your land has come to ours, and from ours to the world. The thing that I want to share to you about is this concept of giving, of caring, of serving the world, and of love, because that is the ultimate superpower. So, talking about love, it's important that I bring up here today the person who is the love of my life, who brought love into my life and is the love of my life. And it is her that has been driving this vision of service, of giving, of caring, which has always been an intrinsic part, which has always been a very special part of this family. And she has driven it with passion. She has driven it from her heart. She has driven it for us all. So, please, put your hands together to welcome my better half, my wife, Datin Sri. Thank you so much. So I would like her to say a few words about something that's very close to her heart, which has been about giving back to society. This is not about us talking about our various projects around the world. It is not about us to sit down here and tell you all the things we have done. That you can find on our sites, on our websites. You can, research it. This is just telling you why we do what we do and why we are driven to do it and why you need to do this, why you need to, in essence, change and start giving back. So I give you Umayal Eswaran.
Thank you. What a year it has been, huh? This year. It has taught us that there's more possibilities that's opening up. I like the theme for this year of VCon, Ubuntu. I started reading and researching the last 2-3 days, and such a powerful word. I am because we are. It sounds so simple, and yet it's so deep, and it's so difficult for a lot of us as human beings to practice every day in our life. Ubuntu means oneness. It means unity. It means gratitude. It means kindness. It means showing compassion to one another. Oneness is an understanding of interconnectiveness of all lives in this world. There's this thread. It's a very thin thread that connects all lives, from the lowest to the highest creatures. And that thread, that golden thread, is called love. Because without love, we will be empty. We will not be able to do anything in this world. Love is the common principle of human values. Without it, we will become greedy. We are going to become selfish. We are just going to become self-centered. And we are going to become angry, which the world does not need, ladies and gentlemen, because what we need is love. Because, we are so good at reacting to everything that happens around us. Reaction. That's all we do. We react to everything that everybody says. And you know what that means when we react? Because we are allowing everything and everyone around us to control our life. Because we hear one negativity, one negative news or something, and we don't even spend enough time to find out if it's true or not. But we react. And who does that affect? It affects you. It affects your family. It affects your friends and your society. Because we have to believe in ourselves, not outside, but inside. Now, when we went down into lockdown in Malaysia in March, I think that's the best thing that happened to me. I'm talking to you from my experience. Because we are traveling all the time, Dato Sri and me, and sometimes we don't even have time to stop and just go inwards. Because that's the time that gave. Of course, we were working from home. We were doing the usual things. But then it gave us that time for us to go inwards and do many things. And you start questioning yourself. It made me become a better person. Because whatever we do today, whatever I say, I stand here and I'm telling you, it has to be my experience. It's not something that I should be speaking, but it should be something that I have experienced and it has changed my life. The decisions that we make is going to affect everybody around us. So we have to make conscious decisions in whatever we do in our life so that we inspire others. We make an impact in this life. And I always say that I don't know what the past was. I don't want to think about it. I don't know what the future, but the present, this moment is all we have. And to me, that is all that's given, this life. And I have to do the best I can, and I have to be the best version of myself so I can give back to the community. Ubuntu, it also means a person is a person through other people. So it means just you have to help others. You have to uplift other people's life in order for yours to be uplifted. Because it cannot be an individualism. It has to be about everyone around us in our society. I'm always asked many times in interviews when I go and they ask me, who is your inspiration? What inspired you, Datinsri, to do this community work, to go out there and change lives and want to empower girls and boys and our future generation? Why? Why do you do this? And they think I'm going to give them some big names, maybe from the US or maybe from Europe. It's not. It's my father and my father-in-law who inspired me, because I saw them being compassionate. I saw them being loving. I saw my house door open anytime anybody came. My father will feed them first before he talks, because he never asked them whether they're hungry. Doesn't matter who they are. He would have probably met them once before, but he would invite them for a meal. They inspired me to be who I am today. It's their love for humanity that inspired me to do community work today through rhythm. It's my mother who dragged me for my classical dance class. I remember the first 2-3 classes. I think she literally dragged me, screaming, shouting, because I didn't want to go for the class. I was crying so much the teacher wanted her to take me back home. She said, nothing doing. I'm your mother. I'm telling you, you're going for the class. She dragged me class after class. And somewhere along the way, I fell in love with that beautiful art. And I think Dato Sri will say that I think I'm a good dancer today. And it's because of my mom. And
A brilliant dancer today.
And it's because of her. She inspired me. And my mother-in-law. I walked into the house and the first thing I hear from her is, she says, I want you to be independent. I want you to start driving. Okay? Because don't depend on anybody, and don't depend on my son. You do what you want to do. All right? That's inspiration, ladies and gentlemen. It's our own families that inspire. Don't look out. Look in your family, because from young, you have been inspired by everyone around you. You don't have to look outside. And Dato Sri, who's always told me to pursue my dreams, whatever it is. Even today, he said I should continue by dancing. I'm a classical dancer. So he says, what is stopping you? He's inspired me. My siblings have inspired me. It's my family who keeps me going, who make me do what I do today to the communities around the world. And when I see that every life we touch, because every life matters, and the love that we show, and the compassion and kindness and gratitude, ladies and gentlemen, people, this is part of who we are. We don't need a day to celebrate kindness. We don't need a day to celebrate gratitude. We don't need it. We are born with it. Somewhere along the way, we forget because we just get involved in the mad rush. But ultimately, everything you do, even in the business, if you don't love one another, if you don't show compassion, if we don't care, we can never succeed and we can never sustain. That is the truth. Because I have been here from day one, from inception of this company, and I have put my heart and soul into it. My blood runs in it, and I've seen it grow from nothing to who we are today. How many of them are watching, Paman? It's 200,000. I remember our first meeting was about 200 people, I think was less. Yeah, but the very first meeting was like what, about 20 people? Yeah, from 20 people to 200,000 watching today, ladies and gentlemen. So, I would like to leave with this message because this is what truly has inspired me. Because our Ubuntu is rhythm. Raise yourself to help mankind, because I've always heard Dato Sri say, and it's so true, and I believe in it, because without raising ourselves, we will never be able to raise another person's life. Because you have to be a better version of yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be that loving mother. You have to be the loving son, the daughter, caring, that you have to play all that role in one in order to help every life you touch. So, our Ubuntu is rhythm. Raise yourself to help mankind. And we will not be able to do this without all of you being part of our family. So, thank you so much. Thank you once again. Love you all. Do all this, it's very fulfilling. Thank
we are
you.
able to do it because of you.
All because of all of you. Thank you.
Very nice.
So there you have it, the beginning of our second day. And we talk about serving, loving, and giving. Because these three things, serve, love, give, will insulate us from power, from money, from dealing with all of these things. Power or money needs insulation. A good electrician always wears rubber boots, rubber gloves, and is constantly watching out and respectful of the power of electricity, for it can kill him. If he loses his concentration, he dies. When someone climbs a mountain, he must respect the mountain and know that if he misses and slips, he dies. And when someone serves these 10-foot high waves, again, he has to respect the ocean, for he knows that if he makes a mistake, he dies. Such is power and money. Hence, the way that we must approach it, the way that we must insulate our minds is to always be in a state of service. To be fueled by love, remembering there is no expectation of a return in love. You do it because you love doing it, not because you need something back. And finally, you give everything that you have. But in order to do these three things, the first thing you have to do is stop listening to other people. As she mentioned a little while ago, listening to other people is the beginning of our sliding down. It is other people's opinions that drive us. We need to constantly live up to somebody else's expectations, and therein lies the mistake. Therein lies our failure. If we stop listening, we will start hearing. And we will start hearing to our own voice. Because our own voice is almost always right. I have the first of my little videos. And this one I love to show every week on because it is so impactful. It simply says, stop listening to other people. Stop listening to the fools. Stop letting people steal your dreams. And it's so beautifully put that it does not take any words to explain. This comes to you in every language that you are listening right now. This comes to you without translation. Please watch this very special video. There you have it. Stop listening. Stop listening. Now, for those of you who don't have a crocodile in the country that you're in right now, let me assure you, crocodiles are there in the world that we live in right now. There are crocodiles everywhere in the world that we live in right now. Are you with me? So, stop listening. Are you with me? Rhythm is, as she said a little while ago beautifully, and I totally agree, is our Ubuntu. We have been saying Ubuntu for 22 years and using the word rhythm. And rhythm is very, very powerful. But the first aspect of rhythm is raise yourself. Raise yourself. Raising yourself means you need to be in a position that you can help and guide someone. If you don't raise yourself, then you have followers following followers. Followers following followers is a very dangerous concept because you will never end. Followers following followers is essentially going around in a circle. So let me do another short video. One more video? Yes. Great. Let's see what happens when followers follow followers. It's only going to take a second. That's what happens. In networking, that's what happens. When there's no leader, the sack is just circling, going nowhere. Leadership is about breaking and setting new rules. Are you with me? But when you break new rules, then you can truly be different. When you break new rules, you can even break out of the environment that you're trapped in. We are all trapped in different environments. It's a prison that we carry around. But when we can have a dream, then the facts don't count. If the dream is big enough, then we can break free of our environment and reach out and reach for the stars. We can break free of our environment just as a fish can leap out of the stream and catch berries in a tree. Now, this doesn't seem possible, but believe me when I say it is. Let's watch this fish leap out of the stream and catch berries. Right. Simple message, but very powerful one. If a fish can do that, then you can break out of every environment that you are in right now. You can break out of it and reach for the sky. And that is truly pursuing your dreams. Don't let anything hold you back. A fish is naturally in water, and yet it can leave the safety and security of its water. It can leave the environment that it is so familiar with. And if it leaves the water long enough, it dies. And still, it can do that. Can we do that again? One more time. Let's see that again one more time. Just to imprint into your memory. I want you to keep that in your mind. I want you to know that even in nature, this is what happens. So even in nature, for a fish to be able to do that is possible. Then again, nature is telling you to break free and aim for the sky. To leave that comfort zone. To reach for that impossible dream. To believe in yourself. Because that is truly what your path is and what your path has begun right now. And once you begin on this path, then the next thing is never give up. Not giving up is not an option. It's something that you must believe in. Rejections will come to you one after another. That's our poison, so to speak, rejection. That can kill us or that can make us strong. It can be either the best thing that's ever happened to us or it can completely destroy us. So what? The beautiful answer to that is, so what? Someone is waiting. So what? So what? Someone is waiting. Some will, some won't. Someone, so what? Someone is waiting somewhere. And when you believe in that, you will get up again. As I said to you yesterday, I will say to you today, and I'll say to you tomorrow, there is only one key to success, one ingredient to success. I'm teaching you how to insulate yourself from success. But the key to achieving it is getting up again. You will fall, you get up again. You will fall, and then you will get up again. And there is nothing as powerful as getting up again. Because getting up again simply tells you this, that you can achieve. You will achieve. You must achieve. And this is what your life is all about, to achieve. And it must be done today. There is no tomorrow. There's no procrastination. It has to be done today. Because life is full of challenges. Life is full of mouse traps. Life is full of many obstacles, pit holes, swamps, quicksand, and mouse traps. And why mouse traps? Because this amazing advertisement that I saw maybe 10 years ago, till today, amazes me. It inspires me. It puts fire back into me. And I'd like to pass that fire on to you, to the 200,000 people out there. Never ever be afraid of mouse traps again. So, never be afraid of mouse traps. Never be afraid of defeat. Never be afraid of failure. Never be afraid of falling down. Because all of this make you stronger, make you better, make you smarter, make you sharper. They are all on the way to success. So if you're facing problems right now, if you're facing challenges right now, if you're falling down right now, if you feel that you are in a mouse trap right now, turn it into an exercise machine. Turn it into your advantage. And that is the only way forward. Are you with me? Yes, awesome. What is the next step? First, stop listening to others. Second, never give up. Right? Third, change. Because ultimately, you today are standing in the position that you brought yourself to. No one else. You cannot blame the stars. You cannot blame astrology. You cannot blame the planets. You cannot blame your parents. You cannot blame the government. Don't blame anything else. You are responsible for where you are today, this minute. Now, if you are responsible, you have brought yourself to this position, then you need to take yourself out of this position. You need to go from here, moving forward. Now, what does that mean? Everything that you have applied till today, everything that you have put into place till today, all of your ideas, all of your strategies, whatever it is, or simply lack of them, lack of strategies, lack of willpower, lack of discipline, lack of determination, lack of drive, all of these things have brought you to this point in your life. Moving forward, you need to change. You need to change. Your attitude needs to change. Attitude is the single most powerful difference in your life. Two people in the same circumstance will be defined by their attitude. One person looks at the problem, looks at the darkness in the room, and he cries. The other person in the same room, in the same situation, looks at the light and he rejoices. The difference is only in the mindset, nothing else. It is like you sitting down to watch the sunrise. As the sun rises so beautifully in the horizon, you can be mesmerized by the sun, by the beauty of nature, or like someone wrote in a book somewhere, something silence. Or you can be slapping the mosquitoes and be focused on the mosquitoes or the flies. So your choice, focus on the flies or focus on the sunrise. It is here that you define your life. And when you define your life here, everything changes. The road that you take changes. So here, change must be born. There is only one thing that you must write. When you go back and you write it on your shaving mirror, where you shave every day, or your makeup mirror for the ladies, where you put on your lipstick every day, whatever the mirror is, on top of the mirror you write, change or die. Change or die. Change or die. It's as simple as that. Every time you see it, it must remind you. Every day that you see it, it must remind you to change. Because every day you have to change just a little bit and your direction will change. And age is no barrier. Whatever age you are, wherever you are, is no barrier. You must wish to change. You must desire to change. You must be hungry for change. And there's just again another video I'd like to share with you. Because sometimes we are talking to so many people across the world in so many different languages, so many different cultures. I have to find the best medium to come across to you, and nothing is as powerful as these short videos sometimes, because they don't need explanation. They don't need language. They speak to you. Today, the millennials, the Generation Z, so to speak, this is the inheritors of the earth, the next generation, those who are right now in their teens and their 20s, the greatest number of new arrivals in this family come from that group. And for them, this is what prevails. A 3-minute video says a lot more than reading a book. And we have to reach them. So as I'm reaching out to them, I'm reaching out to you in whichever language. I'm saying to you, change now. Change today. Or change will come to you anyway. So before it comes to you, it's better that you change. The world is changing. In the last 20 years that we have been around, we could not have anticipated the technology that we are facing and dealing with today. We are scrambling to catch up. It has changed so amazingly fast. But have you changed that much? Because the world has changed tremendously. Have you changed? Because everything around you is changing. If you look at the street that you have lived in, the street you were born, the town that you were born in, and look at it today and look at photographs of it at the time you were born, there's going to be an amazing difference. Because the world is moving without you. Now the question is, are you going to change? Or are you going to be changed? So I give you again this beautiful song sung by this very young lady. Very young lady, for she's truly young at heart, which simply says, change.
सारा देश जाने हैं कि आज बदलाव जरूरी ही नहीं बल्कि निश्चित होवे। पर जैसो गांधी जी ने कहो है कि जो बदलाव आप देश में देखना चाहो वो खुद में भी होना जरूरी होवे। आज मैं वो सुर छेड़ू हूँ जो इससे पहले कभी ना छेड़ो और वो गाना गाऊं हूँ जो इससे पहले कभी ना गुनगुनायो।
Change is constant. Change is inevitable. Change is immeasurable. Change, be the change. Yeah. Change is the game. You need a new mind frame. Stop following the world and be the change. Drive the change. Write the change. Just block the change. Change, be the change. Change society, change your country, change her people, change, be the change. Change is the game, you need a new mind frame, stop following the world and be the change. Head the change, inspire change, invent the change, change, be the change. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. Change perspectives, change POVs, change leadership, change, be the change. Change is the game, you need a new mind frame, stop following the world and be the change. Fight for change, strive for change. Fight for change and strive for change. Join the change and be the change. Change, be the change. Be the change.
Be the change. If that young lady can do that, you can do much better. Your life is in your hands. The change that you must make must be in your hands. Are you with me? Change is your credo. Change is what you have to put down, like I said, on your shaving mirror, on your makeup mirror, on your car rear view mirror. Change or die. Change or die. That should remind you every day. Because where you are right now, sadly, is not where you want to be. Where you are right now is not where you want to die. It's not how you want to die. It's not how you want to leave this planet. Where you are right now is simply a place that you must leave By definition, if you are sitting there listening to me today, right now, it means you are unhappy where you are. It means that up to this moment in time, you have not truly experienced success. It means you need to change. Are you with me? Excellent. I believe I have some questions. So we will do a few questions right now. And these questions have been coming to us over the internet from all over the world. And there have been, some of them have been selected. So we will do some questions today. And then I will come back with my closing message. So the first question.
Yes, Dato Sri. First question is, Dato Sri, my upline told that with hard work, I can be successful. What exactly is hard work, Dato Sri? And how will I know that I'm working hard enough to achieve my goals?
So, this person's upline told him that with hard work, he can achieve success. I have just told you that if you are doing any kind of work, leaving alone hard work, if you're doing any kind of work, that means, first of all, you're not loving what you do. When you love what you do, that doesn't become work. A mother looking after her child, a mother carrying the child for 9 months, a mother slaving over a hot stove, a mother working and cleaning the house, a father going out to work and look after his family. That is not work. That is truly a privilege. So if you are doing something called work, it is already wrong. The mind has to change to recognize that you must love what you do. So where does hard work come into play? If at all, you must love hard. Because it is when you truly love what you do that you're willing to put up with pain and sacrifice. You're willing to suffer. You're willing to really go through grilling times and defeat and failure. But first, only first, you must learn to love. It's not just loving the planet, loving your family. You must love what you do every day. Then life changes. So you have to learn to love what you do. And hard work will be history. There is no such thing as hard work. There is only loving what you do and loving it hard. Does that answer your question, son? David.
Dato Sri, this is a question from Ghana. What effective ways could you suggest to help me adopt, adjust, and accommodate, especially in this new challenging environment?
The whole point of adopt, adjust, accommodate means you have to basically change according to the circumstances. You live in Ghana. That's halfway across the world from me. And you're going to know Ghana and the situation in Ghana far better than I do. But let me say this to you. The point of being adapting and adjusting and accommodating is simply that your mind is open to anything. You don't close your mind to anything. You leave your mind open to any possible way to get something done. So the first thing to do is stop following. The amazing thing that I saw once, there was this amazing picture that remains in my mind that taught me that we need to think independently first. No one can live your life for you. Now you may be in Ghana, but no one can live your life for you. Only you need to find your answers, your solutions, your way. So there's this picture that comes to my mind. I saw it, amazingly in a dentist's wall, while waiting for my dentist, I saw this amazing picture. And there were like 1,000 sheep. 1,000 sheep going through a gate. They were basically all queuing up to go through the gate. So there's this massive herd of sheep all coming together, and then 2 or 3 at a time, they were going through the gate to the other side. So they're leaving one pasture to another pasture. And you had all of these people lined up and going through, all of these sheep lined up and going through that gate very slowly. Now, what was amazing about that picture? That picture probably is very common in different parts of the world. It happens all over the place. Sheep moving from one field to another field. But what was amazing is that on either side of that gate, there was no fence. On either side of the gate, no fence. So the sheep could have actually gone across anywhere along the way. There was no fence to hold them back. But simply because they are used to following, they just followed the lead sheep. So when the leading sheep went through the gate, they all went through the gate. So the key to adapt, adjust, accommodate simply says, do it your way. There's a very great song, Frank Sinatra, I believe, which Chief Padman loves very much. My way. Well, people, the key to adapt, adjust, accommodate is to do it your way.
Dato Sri, if a downline of mine is not getting results after a long time, how do I still keep him motivated and stop him from giving up?
That's an interesting question. How do I keep my downline motivated and stop him from giving up? So here's my point. I had another question similar to this some time ago. In fact, this question has come to me almost literally every week on. Someone will stand up somewhere and say that my wife hates me networking, or my husband hates me and wants to stop me from networking. My father doesn't want me to do it. You know, my mother, my headmaster, my neighbor, somebody is always stopping me from networking. And what shall I do? Because this is my wife, my family, someone that I love. So my answer to him, and my answer to each one of these people who ask me this question, is if you cannot get past your father or your mother or your wife or your husband or your brother or somebody who is stopping you from networking, then don't do it. Because you're going to fail. First, convince them. Make them your first downline. Sign them up. Then you are getting ready for the outside world. Your first and most powerful lesson is right there at home. And the same thing applies to this. If this downline of yours you cannot convince, why talk about anyone else? Why bother to work on anyone else outside there? First go back to him and make sure that he becomes successful, that he turns around, that he changes. Because the lesson that you learn in changing him around is that you will change. You see, very simply put, leaders attract. So, first of all, be the leader that you were born to be, and your downline will never leave. Are you with me? Be the leader that you were born to be. Be the leader that he needs. Don't sit down and listen to his problems, because then he is leading you. If he is sitting down there telling you that he wants to give up, then he is leading you. So who's the leader in the room? First lead. First win your family over, win your downlines over, win your battles at home, win the problem that's right in front of you first. The world will come next.
Dato Sri, how do I get back on track my one-time committed leaders who have switched off completely at the point earlier?
You see, it comes back to the same issue. If they are switched off, it is monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. So, if they are switched off, if they are dispirited, if they don't want to do the business anymore, and you are the leader, you are the upline, who do you look at? Where do you turn around and place the blame? It is not about them, it is always about you. So, this is the position that I've always said. Never compare yourself to anyone outside. Never compare yourself to any other leader even. But compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. You were able to sign them up at some point in your life. They did believe in you. That's why they signed. That's why they followed you. That's why they are there. But somewhere along the way, if the change was not happening with you, if that 1% improvement was not happening in you, then definitely they are going to run out of steam. The person you have to look at is you. The person that you have to challenge against is you. And you merely need that 1% improvement, and you will grow by leaps and bounds. But if you're the same person who signed them up, then sooner or later they get bored. Are you with me? So whether it is a downline or whether you are leading anybody anywhere, first of all, you need to change, and change constantly. You need to be ahead of the game. You need to be constantly looking to be better than you were yesterday. Then they will be constantly trying to catch up with you. But when they are ahead of you, when they are going ahead of you, then you have lost them. You change, and they will change.
Dato Sri, number of downlines, number of UVs, number of people coming for week-on. These are the questions I always get from my uplines. Is quality or quantity more important?
Let me try that again.
Number of downlines, number of UVs, number of people coming for week-on. This is what my upline always asks me. Is quality important or quantity important?
See, when you are driving a Toyota, then you keep looking at the speedometer because you know how fast you're going, and you want to be keeping looking at the speedometer. The speedometer tells you. So you have to always constantly let the speedometer on the car be your guide. But when you're driving a Ferrari, you don't have to look at the speedometer. You know you are flying with the wind. So, you are only concerned about quantity when you're driving a Toyota. The instant you become a Ferrari, quantity does not matter anymore. You should be way past your quantity. So, the trick is raise your quality and your quantity will follow. Stop being a Toyota, start being a Ferrari.
Dato Sri, how how are you positive all the time? What is this secret of yours?
Well, I have a question that I always ask one of my colleagues who works with me, because the corporate people have a different approach to life than we do in networking. So we have this colleague who I have always asked the same question: how is it that you are so constantly negative all the time? How do you live in the world? And he prides himself, you know. He actually says, what does he say? His tagline? His famous tagline is, trust no one. And my tagline is, trust everyone. So when you love yourself, when you love what you do, when love drives you and you're surrounded with love, why would you not be positive? So the key, my friend, is to love. As I said yesterday, and let me repeat this point to you one more time. Get up in the morning and feel blessed. Every morning as you open your eyes, feel blessed. Because you should be opening your eyes to your ceiling. If you're opening your eyes and you don't recognize the ceiling, then you're in trouble. Because this is now pandemic, so you can't be in a hotel either. So if you're not in a hotel, you're in a hospital. And if you're looking at a ceiling that you don't recognize, then you are basically stuck to that ceiling. That is not a place you want to be. There's a movie, actually, very interesting one, that actually won a short film festival. The movie basically starts. Everyone comes into the theater, they're sitting down, and the movie starts with a picture of the ceiling. Nothing but just a ceiling. And then after a minute, the ceiling continues. 3 minutes, people are talking to each other. What a useless movie this is. Why are we looking at the ceiling? There's nothing happening. We're getting bored. 5 minutes, and people are wanting to leave the theater. They're already getting up saying, why am I looking at the ceiling for 5 minutes? 9 minutes later, the picture moves from the ceiling down, and you see the rest of the view, so to speak, and it's a hospital bed. And basically the words start to scroll across this movie, and it says, simply put, there's this young man who's paralyzed from neck down. And he has been looking at that ceiling now for 9 months. You can't even bear to look at it for 9 minutes. Be grateful. Be grateful for where you are. So, in a nutshell, to answer this question, when we get up every morning and we recognize your own ceiling, you are blessed already. You get up in the morning and your family is around you, you are blessed. You have a roof on your head, your family is around you, and they are well, you are blessed. And when your body is functioning, you are again blessed. You are getting blessing after blessing after blessing. How can you possibly be negative? You can only be positive. And you can only charge on ahead. Getting up every morning with gratitude is the key.
And Dato Sri, I have a deep feeling I won't achieve in this business. I won't achieve success in this business. Although I work very hard. What is the problem, in your opinion?
He says, I won't achieve success in this business because I have worked very hard. Exactly right. You're working hard. So if you're working hard, you have already gone past loving what you do. It has become work for you. And if it's work for you, then like everyone else who's working hard across the world, the only thing awaiting you is misery. If you're working hard, you want to retire. Your goal in life is, I must retire. I'm waiting to retire. I cannot wait to retire. Everyone who works hard wants to retire. But if you love what you do, why would you retire? So basically, here I am. I started off with the intention of retiring, and that was 22 years ago. I said to myself, I made a promise to my wife, I said, let us do this for 5 years, maximum. Initially I said, we do it for 2 years. We extended for 5 years. And then at some point, my wife turned around and asked me, she said, and this is like almost 10 years later, she said, don't you remember we said we would retire when we were 5 years old? And I looked at her and I said, retire? We're having too much fun. Why would you retire? So the answer to that question is very simple. Love what you do. Love what you do every day. And you will never have to look back. And you never have to work hard.
Dato Sri, you wrote a book,
Yeah, I remember.
something about silence.
Something,
you know.
something silent, yes.
And you talk about it a lot, and we, over the years, we have, I know you have, from your heart, sincerely shared these teachings, and yet many people find it so difficult to actually follow the process. What's your advice? Are there any shortcuts?
If you're looking for a shortcut, then again, that's a problem, isn't it? Basically put, right now, if you are truly enjoying what you do and love what you do, then you don't look for shortcuts, you look for the long cut. You want to do it for as long as you possibly can. I mean, right now, David, you are a classic example. Now, when I met you, you were in that state of mind where you were thinking retirement already. You kind of thinking that, okay, I'm on my last stretch,
Yes.
But right now, you're saying, give me another 10 years, give me another 20 years, I'll do this.
Correct.
Don't you agree?
Yes, Dato Sri.
And why is that? What has changed? The only thing that has changed is simply this. You love what you do.
Yes, Dato Sri, exactly.
So, in a nutshell, it is about changing this mindset. And what drives that love for what you do? Gratitude. I mean, in this pandemic outside, in the outside world, it is dramatic, it is drastic, it is devastating. Nothing like this has happened in 100 years. But for those of us who are safe right now, and for those of us who are here right now, the fact that you are alive today is the greatest gift you can have. Every single day that you're alive is the greatest gift that you can have. So here's the question. Someone coming to me and saying, I want a shortcut. Why would they not say, give me a shortcut to death? Give me a shortcut to death. Nobody wants a shortcut to death.
No.
You want to take the longest cut possible to death. The longest journey possible to death. Yes? Now, in order for you to love what you do and be grateful for every single day, the first thing you have to remember is you are here for a greater purpose. And when you identify the fact that you will grow as you find this purpose, because this purpose finds you eventually, you know, and you serve, you love, and you give. And eventually, that purpose finds you. And when that purpose finds you, you are driven. And you become a source of energy. When you walk into the room, there's fire.
I got attracted to, you know, even before I wrote the book, you used to talk to me about the practice. And because I was in 1 minute from the abyss, not 2 minutes from the abyss, and I sort of was in this major crisis that this was the, you know, the lifeboat that was thrown to me. But most people are in what you always call the comfort zone. So probably that's why they're looking for shortcuts.
There's nothing in life that is worth a shortcut, that is of any value. If something has value, you don't want shortcuts. Your children that you love, you don't want a shortcut. You want to keep them with you for as long as possible because you love them. So you're looking for the longest cut possible, not a shortcut. So everything in life that you acquire through difficulty, through daring, through determination, whatever that is a long cut. When you acquire it through a long cut, you will fight to keep it. But when it comes to you easily, you will lose it easily. Which is why I said earlier to them, I pity those that become successful too fast in this business. Because when it comes to them too fast, then they don't know the value of what they have. And when they don't know the value of what they have, and they don't know how they got there, when they're not able to appreciate how they got there, then the problem is they will lose it as fast as they get it. It is far better, far better to take the long cut to success, to do it with discipline, to do it with determination, to do it with daring, with drive, to do it with dedication. And when you get there, you will fight to keep it.
Thank you, Dato. It's so very true. And you find the purpose.
Absolutely. At this point, I'd like to take a moment to talk about something, which is
Please.
simply, there is something called the art of learning. Just like the art of war by Sun Tzu, there is something called the art of learning, which I have talked about almost every week on. Written by a gentleman called Chanakya 1,000 years ago. But what's more important is the beauty and simplicity of what it says. Before you learn something, you start with discrimination. You choose carefully, discriminate carefully the path you want to take. Whatever path you want to take, choose it carefully. That is called viveka, or discrimination. Then you come to research and analysis, part 2. In research and analysis, you study as much as possible about the path that you want to take. Once you have chosen the path, you study as much as possible. You become the path. You analyze it, and you learn to love what you do. That leads you to the third stage, which is neti, otherwise called tunnel vision. You enter a tunnel that only allows you to see your destination. And you focus only on your destination, nothing else. And when you are in that state of focus, and you are heading towards your destination, you will find that the destination itself is not that important, but the journey has become truly the most important thing. You will then reach the final stage, which is simply called vairagya. Vairagya simply means when you have perfected something to the point that you have excelled in it, then you perform beyond all expectation. So, which leads me to another video. This one is about, it might look like someone you know, don't worry about that, the long hair and everything, but this person really embodies that spirit of charisma that shows that when you keep on practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing, then when you perform, you are in a class by your own. You simply excel. You control the stage. You actually shine. So that the actual performance, which in this case is a dance, is excelled by his interpretation, his energy, his fire, his passion. So I give you this amazing, amazing man who has practiced the art of learning. So let's take a minute to appreciate this. It doesn't matter the music, it doesn't matter anything else, but his energy carried across. And that energy, that passion is what it's all about. So when you go through the 4 stages of the art of learning, you get to that level where your charisma captures you. Where you go on stage and do whatever you have to do, and you command. And that comes from within you. But first you have to simply love what you do. There is absolutely no escape from that process. Instantly hard work becomes joy. If you take a look at the greatest performers in the world, the greatest leaders in the world, they all were totally caught up with whatever they did. Picasso used to basically lock himself into his room for days at a time without food and water in order to paint and complete his painting. Because that was what completely absorbed him. Was that hard work? No, that was for him pure joy. Beethoven was deaf when he wrote some of his finest music. His most amazing music, which he couldn't hear. So what drove him? Again, it was that state of being. He was in love what he did. So whether you take an artist or a composer, musician, whatever field that he or she is in,
ඒ හැමදේම ඕ කරේ
it is about loving what you do.
ආදරයෙන් තමන් කරන දේ කිරීම.
So, love, as I explained it to you
ආදරය
today,
අද මං කියලා දුන්නා වගේ
is not just about loving each other, because that
අපි
is a key.
එකිනෙකාට ආදරය කරගන්නවා කියන එක නෙවෙයි
Loving each
කියන්නේ.
other builds teamwork, but to love what you
ආදරය කරනවා
do
කියන්නේ
beyond all
කරන දේට ආදරය කරනවා කියන එකයි
expectation,
මෙතන දෙයක් තියෙන්නේ.
having no need or desire for any kind of return,
මේකට කිසිම
that
දෙයක්
is the
බලපෑමක්
true
අවශ්‍ය
key to
නැහැ.
success.
ආදරය කරන
Will you fail?
ඔබ
Yes.
ෆේල් වෙයිද? ඔව්.
Will you fall?
අසමත් වෙයිද?
Yes.
ඔව්. ඔබ වැටෙයිද?
That
ඔව්
is
වැටෙයි.
inevitable.
ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන්
That is
සිද්ධ වෙන
part
දෙයක්.
and parcel of the
ඒක part
process
එකක්,
that
ඒක
you're going to be
කොටසක්
going
මේ process
through.
එකේ
But
තියෙන.
every
අනිවාර්යෙන්.
champion has done this.
හැම චැම්පියන් කෙනෙක්ම ඉදිරියට
Every
ගිහිලා තියෙනවා.
leader that you have seen in the last few days have done this.
ඉදිරියට ගිහිලා තියෙන. මේ දේ
There is
කරලා තියෙනවා.
nobody who has come up on stage
කවුරුත්
that
නැහැ.
you saw
Stage එකට ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ.
yesterday and today
ඊ ඇවිල්ලා අද
and
ඇවිල්ලා කතා කරන්නේ
tomorrow
නැහැ.
who have not failed.
ෆේල් වෙච්ච නොවන කෙනෙක් නැහැ.
Many
අසම්බන්ධ
of
වෙච්ච
them
කෙනෙක් නැහැ.
Have
බොහෝතරයක්
simply
දෙනා
taken the long road, no shortcuts.
හැමෝම අරන් තියෙන්නේ දිගු ගමන.
No
ෂෝට්කට් එක
shortcuts.
නෙමෙයි. ෂෝට්කට් එකක්
Is
නෑ ජීවිතේ.
ingredient that you have to look for. If you're looking for a shortcut,
අවශ්‍ය
you
උපකරණ
are in the
ඒ
wrong
හැමදේම හම්බ
place.
වෙන්නේ ලෝන්
But
කට්
then,
එක ගියාම.
here's
ඔබ
the
හොයන
point.
ෂෝට්කට්
People
එකක් නම්
work
ඔබ ඉන්නේ
hard
වැරදි
all
තැන ඉන්නේ.
across the world.
මුළු ලෝකෙ පුරාම ඉන්න
They
කට්ටිය
work for
මහන්සි වෙලා වැඩ
30
කරනවා.
years and 40
ඔව්
years.
අවුරුදු
You have
30ක්
seen
40ක්
them.
වැඩ කරනවා.
In the generations before you, you have seen them.
ඔබට එන පරම්පරා ගානක් තිස්සේ ඔබ
And
දැකලා
what
තියෙනවා
do
වැඩ
they
කරන
show
මිනිස්සු
for
මහන්සි
it?
වෙලා. ඔව් මොනවද
At
පෙන්වන්නේ
the
ඔබට
end of
රැකියා
the
කරන
day,
කට්ටිය?
they
අවසානයේ
spent a lifetime working hard,
ඔගේ
not
ජීවිතේම
achieving
මහන්සි වෙලා වැඩ
the
කරලා
kind
තියෙනවා.
of
කිසිම දෙයක්
success
achieve කරලා නැහැ.
that they
සාර්ථකත්වය
truly
ලබාගෙන නැහැ.
desired and
ඔබට
yearned
අවශ්‍ය දේ
for.
ලබාගෙන නැහැ.
That only comes with smart thinking,
ඒක
not hard
එන්නේ
work.
ස්මාර්ට් තින්කින් වලින් හાર્ඩ් වර්ක් කරලා
Loving what you do transfers,
ආදරය කරන ඔබ දේ ආදරය
transforms
කරන
that
ඔබ
hard
ආදරය කරන
work,
දේ කරන දේට ආදරය
the
කරන
energy into where
ශක්තිය
you perform with fire. You have
ඒක
that
ගින්දරත් එක්ක
ability
සෙල්ලම්
in
කරනවා
you.
වගේ.
The passion is burning right here. You have
ඔබගේ
to
ඇඟිලි තුල
uplift it.
ඒ දැවෙන්න
You have
පටන්
to
ගන්නවා.
set yourself on fire. You have to reach for the sky. You have to say, yes, I
ආසට යනවා
can.
කියනවා yes මට පුළුවන්
Are you
කියලා
with
කෑ ගහන්න
me?
පටන් ගන්නවා. ඔබ මා සමගද?
You have to say, yes, I can.
ඔව් මට පුළුවන් කියලා කෑ ගහන්න ඕනි.
You have to say, yes, I can.
ඔව් මට පුළුවන් කියලා කෑ ගහන්න.
And every time you fall up, you fall
But-
down.
but හැම
You get
වෙලාවකම
up again.
ඔබ නැවතරන්න
Every
නැගිටින්න
time
ඕනි.
you fall, you get up again.
වැටිච්ච
What do
ගමන්
you
මොකද කරන්න ඕනි?
do?
නැගිටින්න ඕනි. මොනවද කරන්න
What do
ඕනි?
you do?
get up again.
I can't
නැගිටින්න
hear
ඕනි.
you.
මට ඇහෙන්න ඔබ.
Why are you sitting down?
ඇයි වාඩි
Why
වෙලා
are you
තාම ඉන්නේ
sitting
පුටු
down?
ඉන්නේ?
I
ඇයි
can't
තාම
hear
පුටු
you.
ඉන්නේ? මට ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔබව.
What do you do?
ඔබ මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ වැටුණොත්?
What do you do?
මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ
Every
වැටුණොත්?
time you fall, you get up
නිවට වැටුණොත්
again.
මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ?
You
නැගිටින්න.
get up again. You get up
නැවත
again.
නැගිටින්න.
You
Get up
get up
again.
again.
Get
There
up
is
again.
no other way.
වෙන ක්‍රමයක්
So
නැහැ.
the
එක
two things
විකල්පේ
you remember
නැගිටීමයි.
is I can do
කාරණයක්
this.
මතක තියාගන්න.
I
මට මේක
can.
කරන්න පුළුවන්.
What do you
මට මේක
say?
කරන්න පුළුවන්. I can.
What do you say?
මට මේක කරන්න පුළුවන්. I
What do
can
you
do
say?
this. I can
What do
do
you
this.
say?
මට මේක
Come on,
කරන්න
what do you
පුළුවන්.
say?
මට මේක කරන්න
And
පුළුවන්.
then you say to yourself, every
අපිට කියා
time
ගන්න.
I fall, and you say to those that follow you, every time they fall, you say to them, get up again. What do you
Okay,
say?
negative
Get up
again.
again.
Get up again.
What do you say?
Tama ka
Get
again.
up again.
Get up again.
What do you say? Get up
Tama ka
again.
Never run
What do you
negative
say?
na. Bakit
Get
yan
up
eh?
again.
Get up
Get up
again.
again.
Get up
Get up
again.
again.
Get up again.
Are you with me?
ඔබ මා සමගද?
Are you with me?
ඔබ මාත් එක්කද?
Are you with me?
ඔබ මාත් සමගද?
Get up again.
නැවතරන් නැගිටින්න.
Get up again.
Get up again.
Get up again.
Get up again.
Are you with
ඔබ
me?
මාත් සමගද?
Thank you very much.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි.